Greetings of peace. My name is Ram Hotep, broadcasting on behalf of 13signastrology.com. Doing this video pertaining to the natal chart in regards to astrology. Now, I get a lot of supporters and people that have gotten natal charts from me. A lot of people, when they get a natal chart, they are basing it off of another video I did. I talked about how the natal chart can pretty much tell you anything pertaining to certain aspects of your life. And when I first gave out this information, a lot of people, when they started to get natal charts from me, they got the natal chart, and like, say for instance, if they were having trouble with their career or whatnot, they would want to get a natal chart, and they were looking in their natal chart to get and hear about information pertaining to their career or whatnot. And or say for instance, if they were having trouble with relationships, and then they get the natal chart from me and they're looking for information pertaining to their relationships. So I chose to make this video because I need to clear a few things up to help people to understand exactly how the natal chart works and exactly how astrology works. Now, I've been studying astrology for over 10 years, and anybody that knows anything about astrology, you know that astrology is very much a science, just like any other science out there. Say, for instance, if you were studying botany, you're not going to learn everything about botany just because you got a book on botany and you may have took a class on botany. You're not going to be a master or even an adept at botany just because you took a class on botany. Same thing with chemistry. You're not going to be a master at chemistry just because you took a class on chemistry. So, and it's the same thing with astrology. You're not going to be a master in astrology just because you got a natal chart, which means that you will need to get a person or astrologer to constantly interpret your natal chart, or not really to constantly, but to interpret your natal chart for you. And you may even have to get several consultations depending on different situations that you're going through in life. And this is because astrology is very much like a diamond. Depending on what your issue is, you can interpret the natal chart predicated upon the issue. And what I mean by this is that, say for instance, if you're having relationship issues, well, if you're having relationship issues, there are several planets that you can look at when it comes to relationships. Now, relationship issues, I look at mostly the sun, the moon, I look at Mars, and I look at Venus, and also look at Mercury. And I can even go more in depth and look at Pluto and things like that for a relationship consultation. But then at the same token, if you were having issues with your career, you wanted to go more in depth with your career, I can take those same planets, the sun, the moon, Venus, Mercury, and Mars, and I can look at those things pertaining to your career. So that's pretty much how it goes or whatever. So like I said, astrology is like a diamond, and depending on which angle you look at it from will determine which light spectrum reflects itself to you. If you look at a diamond under one angle, it might reflect a green or green light. But then if you look at a diamond from another angle, it might reflect a pink light. So it just depends on how you're looking at it, from what angle you're looking at it from. And the natal chart is very much the same thing with the natal chart. So what I'm going to go into here is just to help people to better understand the natal chart as far as the basis of it. I want to go ahead and do this video mainly for those people that have already gotten a natal chart done for me. And if you haven't got a natal chart and you're interested, maybe this will educate you a little bit more. Or even if you got a natal chart from another astrologer and you want to better understand it, this video may help you as well. Because it's all about the information. As far as my YouTube channel, it's not about the money at all. So this is free information. So we'll start with this natal chart. So if you guys can see it, now, if you look at this natal chart, you'll see that it's a circle. It's a circle, and then you see several symbols. Where my thumb is, where my finger is right here, these symbols on this ring, because there's different rings to the natal chart. So this ring deals with the constellations. These are the constellations in the natal chart, everything around this ring. And these symbols are predicated upon different constellations that are in the cosmos. There are 13 constellations in the cosmos. Now I know you see only 12 here, but this is a 12 sign chart I deal with 13 signs astrology, and I'm working on putting out my own software that depicts 13 signs. But as of right now, the 13th sign is combined within a 12 sign chart. So I can still do 13 signs off this chart, but it's just the 13th sign is combined within a 12 sign chart. Now, if you look at the outer ring, these are the constellations. If you look at this inner ring and these different quadrants, these are the houses. These are the different houses. There's 12 different houses. And I do use 12 houses. I use 13 signs, but I only use 12 houses. I don't deal with 13 houses. And it's a reason for that. It's a reason for that, but I'm not going into that in this video. Now, these, like, you see where my finger is right here? This is Mars. This is Mars, if you can see it. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but this is Mars. And these other symbols are different planets. This is the sun right here. You see my finger? This is the sun. The circle with the dot in the middle is the sun. So each of these symbols represents planets that are in various houses. Now, as far as these lines are the relationships that planets have with each other. Planets are on a relationship basis. So each planet has different relationships with each other. So if it's a red line, that means these two planets aren't having a good relationship. But if it's a blue line, then that means that they're in cahoots together. They're having a good relationship together. And planets are very much beings, just like you're a being. Planets are actually living entities, and they're dimensional beings. So I'm going to help you to understand all of that. So as I explain this, keep everything that I said in mind about the chart. So the houses represent different aspects of your life. They represent different aspects of your life. So the pieces of the pie that I showed you in the chart, they represent different aspects of your life. The planets represent, and they rule different various star constellations. So to better understand the star constellations, you have to understand the planets that rule those star constellations. You have to understand the planets that rule those star constellations. So say for instance, say for instance, the star constellation of Pisces. The star constellation of Pisces is ruled by Neptune. It's ruled by Neptune. So Pisces gets its elements and its properties from Neptune. It gets its elements and its properties from Neptune. And to understand what Neptune deals with, you have to understand the history of Neptune. Now this is a lot here, but I'm just trying to give you an understanding of how you interpret these things. So you have to understand the history of Neptune and how Neptune became the watery one, because Neptune means the watery one. That's what it means. So to understand how Neptune and Pisces would function in your chart, you would have to look at what the meaning of Neptune is, and it would be based upon where Neptune is inside of your chart. So say for instance, if Neptune might not be in Pisces, even though Neptune rules Pisces in your chart. When I say it rules Pisces, that means it rules that constellation of Pisces, but it might not be in the Piscean part of your chart. Neptune in your chart might be in Scorpio. It might be Scorpio. So you would take the elements of Neptune and you would overlay it with the properties of Scorpio. So that's how you would do it. So say for instance, Neptune is a planet of secret societies, intuition, inspiration, psychic capabilities, divine love. When you put it in Scorpio, it will take on a meaning of psychic warfare, because Scorpio deals with warfare, believe it or not, because it's ruled by Mars. So it could mean psychic warfare. It could mean being a part of a secret society based upon, because Scorpio actually deals with secret societies too. So it could mean that you hold a position as a high psychic in a secret society. It can mean several things just depending on, I'm not trying to go into interpretations here, but I'm helping you to understand. My point here is that the planet itself takes on meanings based on where it's at in your chart. So say for instance, if it was Neptune and Scorpio in the 10th house, this means that your career, you might be a psychic in your career, you might be a part of a secret society that's based on your career or whatnot, and this may be, you know what I'm saying, what your career or your life purpose is, because the 10th house deals with your career, not your job, your career. So this is what the 10th house deals with. So when I do a chart, and I know many of you are getting charts and things like that, and you're wondering how come it's not specific to your situation. It's because I'm giving you a general overlay of the type of person you are based on the chart. That's what the initial natal reading is about. Now, if you want me to go more in depth, I offer a free consultation for anybody that gets a natal reading from me, I offer a complimentary consultation, which is usually, for however long you want to talk or whatnot. And pretty much in this consultation, I can take, like if you're having career problems, I then can look at your natal chart and interpret it based on your career. But then if you're having relationship problems, I can take that same natal chart and interpret it based on your relationships. So the natal chart gives you an overview of who you are. It's like your Bible. It's kind of like the Bible. You read the Bible and you read it from cover to cover, you're not going to learn anything. Because the Bible is several books put together. That's why I say that your natal chart is just like your personal Bible. The Bible is like 66 different books put together. So the Bible doesn't make chronological sense or anything like that. The reason why is because it's several books. Actually, the book of Revelations is the oldest book of the Bible, believe it or not. But it's actually in the end of the Bible. So you would think it's the youngest book because it's the last book. But really, the book of Revelations is the oldest book in the Bible. So it's the same thing with your chart or whatnot, like the different signs and the different houses and constellations and things of that manner. I can interpret those based on your situation. If you're having career trouble, if you're having money problems, if you're having relationship problems, if you're having problems with your children, and it doesn't have to be problems. If you want to look at your strengths, if you want to learn about your strengths, I can help you with your strengths based on your natal chart. And these are all separate consultations. If you are having dealings with extraterrestrials, I can help you with extraterrestrial information through your natal chart because I've been studying these charts for years. And basically the thing is that I can look at these charts and I can get a lot of information from them based upon what you want me to focus on at the time. So this is why when you get your natal chart done, it won't hurt you to come back and get consultations or whatnot if you need help understanding them. And I can help you and I can consult you based on what you need done at that time. So it's very much case specific depending on what's going on in your life. So the overall concept of the natal chart is, like I said, is general. It's a general understanding, just like the Bible gives you a general understanding. But if you want to go into specific events in the Bible and learn specific lessons, you can go into certain books. If you want to learn about the apocalypse aspect, you can go into the books of Daniel and the books of Revelations. If you want to learn about wisdom, you can go into the book of Proverbs and the book of Psalms. See what I'm saying? If you want to learn about the beginnings of the earth, you can go into the book of Genesis. And actually, the book of Revelations as well, if you want to learn about how the beginnings of the universe even, and the earth and how that took place, this is what the Bible does for you. And this is the same thing. You see how the Bible has parallel meanings with the Bible, and this is how your natal chart is. So when I do a natal chart, I'm giving you general information, and you'll learn something from it because it's over 20 pages. It's over 20 pages, so you'll learn something from it. But the thing is that if you want me to go specific and in depth, you still need a trained astrologer. I've been studying this for 10 years, so I can see things that you can't see. So if you want an in-depth interpretation, it won't hurt you to get a consultation. And you get a free consultation when you get a natal reading done from me. But if you want to come back, you know what I'm saying, you're having trouble understanding what's going on with your chart, feel free to come back. And I mean, I'll work you out something. It's not about the money. If you know what I'm saying, if you don't have a lot of money, just let me know what you got. We'll work out something. I'm not going to turn you down. I'm not turning nobody down because I'm here to help people. But I'm just trying to help you to understand these things. I mean, I generally, you know what I'm saying, have a price that I charge on my website for consultations. If you have the money, you can pay it. But if you really just don't have that a certain amount of money and you need help, I'm going to help you. Just tell me what you have and I'm going to help you. Just speak up. If you don't speak up, I don't know your situation. I try to price my stuff basically so that it's affordable and things of that nature. But and at the same time, I have to eat because this is what I do for a living. And I've been studying this for a while, and this is what I do for a living. So I mean, I have to charge, of course, and I believe in that. I mean, personally, I'm not one of these people out here saying that everything should just be free. That's not how the world works. You pay for cable TV, you pay for your college education to go to school, you pay for hip hop CDs, you pay for the Bible. The Bible costs money, don't it? At the store, I know churches give it out for free, but they paid somebody still to get those Bibles. So the churches still had to, they paid somebody to get those Bibles. So everything costs money. You donate to your pastor a couple of dollars driving around in these big cars and all these different imams and bishops and ministers, you pay for them. So I mean, so of course I'm going to charge. I have to charge. And I make no bones about that, but I'm very affordable compared to astrologers that are charging $300 for a natal chart. I'm nowhere near that. Their astrologers charging $600 and $700 for a natal chart, and I'm nowhere near that. But I hope this helps you to understand the natal chart as far as the basis of it and the concept of it. This is just an overlay of what it is and what it does and how to communicate with it. So if you already have your natal chart done, you know what I'm saying, you can analyze it. You can figure out things on your own too, try to Google things and things of that nature. And you can come back and ask me questions and I'll answer the questions. I mean, free of charge. You shoot me an email, you want me to do a video on something, or you want have personal questions, shoot me an email and I'll be glad to answer your questions. My email address is 13signsastrology@gmail.com. My website is 13signsastrology.com, and that signs plural for both. So I hope you learned something from this video, and until we meet again, I'll leave you in peace.